Now to the immigration crisis. Border crossings are on track to break records in December. And now a coalition of Democratic mayors are demanding federal help as busloads of migrants arrive on their doorsteps. ABC's Trevor Ault joins us now with more. Trevor, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. So this is the Port Authority in Manhattan. This is where these buses are now required to drop off the migrants at specific times with specific notice. But the mayor here and several other leaders of really prominent cities say they need substantial federal help as this problem keeps growing.
December's now on track to have the highest number of Border Patrol apprehensions ever, according to Customs and Border Protection data. The agency reporting on average nearly 10,000 apprehensions a day over the last week. And this morning, a trio of mayors from New York City, Chicago, and Denver are all calling for federal support responding to the national immigration crisis, accusing Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott of cruel and inhumane politics, busing migrants across the country.
So they want to have the whole blame game going when they know good and well you go to those cities, New York, Chicago, they got people living on the streets already. They weren't saying anything when all these migrants for years really was just overwhelming Texas, right? They had nothing to say. Federal government didn't have anything to say. Texas, you just take them and you deal with them. Okay. But now Texas is actually making it a national problem. They bring in, and the bottom line is this, these mayors, now they want to start crying about, not having enough money and all these types of things. Yet for years, people live on these streets. I've been to these cities, so I know for a fact, people living on the streets, under bridges, got tent cities in a lot of these places. And now these migrants come to these cities, they're putting them up in luxury hotels. Now somehow all this money has just magically appeared. And now they want to cry about the buses. I hope they send more buses. I hope they send more planes, because at the end of the day, they need to learn that this is a national problem. The federal government needs to address this, and it should just not be all on one state for anybody.
We're looking at about $160 million of potential costs going into next year's budget. That's almost 10% of our entire city budget.
New York City's mayor issuing an executive order requiring advance notice for buses dropping off migrants in the city, now only allowing their arrival weekday mornings between 8:30 and noon.
And furthermore, the Biden administration, where do they think all these people, not just where they're going to live, but where are they going to work? What are they going to do? There's already not enough good paying jobs out here in this country. There's just, the bottom line is, they're trying to raise the minimum wage across the country in these different states to get it up to even $15 an hour. Okay. Yet you want to have all these people just coming across the border, and they're coming talking about for economic reasons and a better life. They're not going to have a better life. These people are not going to have a better life coming here working for minimum wage. They're just not. They're coming here. Oh, let's let them come here, claim asylum. Let's get them into and living off taxpayers, because they're not going to be paying taxes. They're not going to really be contributing to the community as a whole, right? So we're letting them leapfrog over Mexico. This is what I don't like about this administration. First of all, Blinken and Mayorkas, they go down and they're going to have talks with Mexico, right? These migrants wouldn't be getting here if they weren't just leapfrogging over Mexico, right? They're coming straight through Mexico like a fullback, running through the offensive line for a touchdown. They're just running through, nobody untouched. Walter Payton style, sweetness, right? They need to tell Mexico straight up, look, you need to be stopping these people coming in from your southern border, period, point blank. Or we're cutting off any kind of funding, any kind of diplomatic relations, whatever kind of leverage you have, you need to use. They want to play softball with Mexico and let Mexico call the shots. Why? Because the Biden administration really wants these migrants here. They really want them here. At the end of the day, they want them here for political reasons. That's why they want them here. There's no other purpose to be letting these thousands, millions of people into the country. Most of them are unskilled labor. Most of them are not going to have the education. And it's just not Central American and South American people. These are people coming from all over the country for different reasons. They just want to bypass the system in place that allows people to migrate to this country legally. They just want to bypass all the red tape, right? They just want to get over here and do whatever it is that they want to do. We need to put and hold Mexico accountable. Mexico should not be calling the shots on this thing because they have more to lose than we do. So let's listen.
This as officials Wednesday shuttled hundreds of people to overcrowded shelters throughout the city.
To be clear, this is not stopping people from coming, but about ensuring the safety of migrants and making sure they can arrive in a coordinated and orderly way.
The mayor's office says more than 7,000 asylum seekers have arrived in New York City in just the last 2 weeks. Earlier this week, hundreds of asylum seekers were flown to the Northeast, forced to stop in Philadelphia due to bad weather. On Wednesday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken visiting Mexico, meeting with the president there to discuss the historic levels of migration. A source familiar with the talk says the U.S. is hoping to find ways to convince Mexico to do more.
You see what I'm saying? That's why the Biden administration is perceived as being weak. They want to convince Mexico. You shouldn't have to convince Mexico of anything. You have the leverage. You are the big brother on the block. You don't have to convince Mexico. You have to actually demand from Mexico, hey, you got more to lose from this relationship than we do. Okay? There are all types of different things going on, but you need to be stopping these people at your southern border. That's just the bottom line.
Ramp up immigration enforcement on its side of the border and discuss incentives to encourage people to stay in Mexico rather than cross into the U.S. The talks come as another large caravan of thousands of people slowly advances north through Mexico, headed toward the southern border. The leaders of the group, reportedly made up of people fleeing Central America, are carrying banners which read, "Exodus from Poverty."
And Republicans in Congress are trying to require a strengthened border security package be tied to any further funding for Ukraine. We do know Senate negotiators met on Capitol Hill on Wednesday trying to hammer out a deal. Eva?
Trevor out for us here. Thank you, Trevor.
So they want to come here. They say they're escaping poverty to come and live in more poverty, living on the streets. A lot of them, again, there's just not enough jobs. There's not enough jobs. It's going to end up turning into a situation where it's just going to be a crime, more crime going on than it's already happening right now. The healthcare system is going to be overwhelmed. Other types of essential services are going to be overwhelmed. There's already a shortage of housing, affordable housing. Just not enough services already for the people that are living here paying taxes. More pressure on the system. It's really ridiculous. So get your money right and be able to escape when you need to escape. If you need to leave this country, but have your coins right. Have your paper right. The way things are going right now, next year is going to be a really sad situation. So get your money right, get your coins right, get your paper right, whatever you need to do. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit that like and share button.
Everybody's shining like new money. There ain't no other crew like this in the world and never will be another.